My beloved child, sit down and let your breath grow still, for what I am about to speak is not merely a warning, but a key one that opens the door you have long been afraid to touch. Do not fear when I speak of tomorrow, for tomorrow is not your enemy. It is the mirror reflecting your present in my light. I see you moving through your days with your eyes fixed on what is before you, yet your spirit is thirsting for what is eternal. You are not weary because of the tasks you do, but because your soul has been carrying burdens that were never yours to bear. You sigh in the night, believing no one hears, yet I have listened to every beat of your heart. And now I come to tell you, you must prepare. Tomorrow will not arrive as ordinary days do. It will come like a sudden wind shaking what you thought was unshakable. A divine shaking is near, not to destroy but to separate, not to make you fall but to reveal what within you is real. I have watched your household, your home, your heart through many seasons. Nothing I have seen surprises me, yet it grieves me, for I have seen the shadows creeping through the small cracks you considered harmless. You believed silence would bring peace, but peace cannot dwell where compromise lives. You thought doing right would be enough, yet you forgot that righteousness is not merely behavior. It is the fragrance of a soul steeped in truth. I spoke long ago. A house divided against itself cannot stand. And now that division rises around you, not merely between people, but between light and darkness. There are words, attitudes, and gestures that seem harmless, yet in the spiritual realm they have become footholds of discord that the enemy exploits. I do not tell you this to frighten you, but to awaken you. For this battle is not fought with swords and shields, but with words, with prayer, and with the posture of your heart. You have asked me, Lord, why does my home feel so heavy? Why does peace seem to slip away so quickly? And I have waited until you grew tired of seeking answers in human strength and began to look for them in me. My child, peace has not been lost. It has only been veiled by what you have tolerated. There are things within your home, objects, habits, conversations, emotions, that have not been surrendered to me, and they have become open doors to what does not belong to me. I do not say this to condemn, but to empower you, for you are not powerless. I have given you authority to tread upon, to bind, to release, and to declare what may or may not dwell in what belongs to me. When I look down, I see your home as an altar grown cold. The flame remains, but only as glowing embers. One breath from me could ignite it again, but that breath cannot rest upon the ashes of compromise. So I am stirring you, my child. I am calling you back to the secret place, to the place where it is only you and me, where the noise of the world cannot intrude. You have been there before. You have wept in my presence and seen heaven open. You have heard my voice like wind upon your soul, but over time, busyness and worry have made you forget that warmth. You say you still believe, but you have stopped waiting. You still pray, but only with your lips. You still sing, but your soul is silent. Now I come not to rebuke, but to rekindle. I do not arrive in thunder or lightning, but in a gentle breath. I have come to tell you that the time of delay is over. The tomorrow I speak of is not a date, it is a divine season. It is the hour when all that has been hidden will be brought to light. True blessings will be distinguished from false promises. Those who have called themselves your friends will be tested by fire, and only the genuine will stand. You will see who belongs to me and who is near me, only for convenience. But do not fear. I am not sending this wind to destroy you, but to remove what no longer serves my purpose. I am separating wheat from chaff, so that your soul may be pure and strong. Everything I allow has purpose. When I permit the storm, I hold the center of it. When I allow darkness to rise, my light still shines within it. Just as Israel trembled before the Red Sea, yet the very waters they feared became the wall that protected them from their pursuers. I will use what terrifies you to become what delivers you. What is coming to your home may appear to be trial, but I will turn it into the beginning of renewal. You do not fight alone. My angels stand guard around your dwelling, though your eyes may not yet see them. The prayers you once whispered and thought forgotten have never been lost. They still rise before my throne like incense, and now they are remembered. I am answering you, not in the way you expected, but in the way you need. When you wake tomorrow morning, open your mouth and declare, "Lord, today I choose to belong to you." Let that declaration ring like a signal, for in the unseen realm it is a banner my armies recognize. Do not ask why I do not prevent every hardship. If I did, you would never know the power of faithfulness. Daniel only saw my angel in the lion's den. His friends only learned that fire could not burn when they stood within the flames. Job only knew me deeply when everything was taken away. So it will be with you. You will know me most intimately when all else seems distant. It is through trial that I am shaping you into a vessel for the new season. Do not forget once the tears dry. Do not return to old habits when the storm passes. This is the hour I am teaching you to stand, not just to survive, but to reign. You are no longer one who merely reacts. You are one who carries authority in my name. Walk through your home, lay hands upon your doors, and speak blessing. Declare that this place belongs to the Lord. Proclaim that every curse is nullified by the blood of the Lamb. Speak that this light shall never be extinguished. And when you speak, heaven will listen. My beloved child, I know this message may make you tremble. But that trembling is not fear, it is life awakening within you. Do not call it terror, call it awareness. When your body quivers in my presence, it is a sign that your heart is still tender. And I can work with a tender heart, far more than with a confident mind. So do not strive to understand everything. Simply believe. Do not try to control every path. Let me lead the way. Do not worry about tomorrow. Prepare your heart today, for today is the seed of tomorrow. Micah 7:8 says, "Though I fall, I will rise again. Though I sit in darkness, the Lord will be my light. My child, tomorrow may bring shadows, but my light will not depart from you." When all seems to crumble, remember this: I have gone before you. I am with you, and I will go behind you. Tomorrow is not the end. It is the beginning of what I have promised. Prepare yourself. Stand firm. Believe that when I speak, heaven and earth will move to fulfill my word. My child, steady your heart, for what I am about to reveal will awaken your spirit from its long sleep. The battle that is coming is not somewhere far away. It is within the walls of your own home. The place that once echoed with laughter, once filled with warmth, now trembles with unrest. Do not think this is a coincidence. Nothing that belongs to you escapes my sight. Every sigh, every sleepless night, every tear you've hidden has been written in heaven's record. And now I come to open your eyes to show you what you have long sensed in your spirit, but not yet seen with understanding. There are movements in the unseen currents in the air that mortal eyes cannot behold. Every word you speak, every atmosphere you bring into your home shapes the spiritual environment around you. Where there is praise, there is light. Where there is complaint, darkness enters. The enemy does not need to walk through the front door if you open the door of your mind. He needs only a crack of bitterness, a drop of doubt unyielded to me, a wound left unforgiven. He hides there, quiet, patient, persistent, until the heaviness grows. He is never in haste, but he is relentless. He is not loud, but he is cunning. And my child, he has crossed your threshold because, unknowingly, you have allowed him in. I do not tell you this to shame you, but to awaken you to the authority I have placed in your mouth. Every word you speak carries the power to build or to destroy. Remember, life and death are in the power of the tongue. When you speak in anger, you plant thorns. When you complain, you invite darkness to your table. But when you praise, you sound the trumpet that calls my angels to battle. When you pray in faith, you raise invisible walls of fire around your family. That is why I say, be silent no more. Silence born of fear is not peace, it is disguised surrender. Open your mouth and speak my words. Declare truth. Sing the song of the Spirit and watch the enemy tremble at its sound. Everything within your house reflects the condition of your soul. When your heart is heavy, the light seems dimmer. When you carry joy, the space grows warm again. Even the walls echo the atmosphere you release. Do not think this is mere emotion. It is evidence of unseen movement. Therefore I say to you, cleanse your home. Walk through each room with a humble heart and lips that proclaim my name. Let every breath you exhale become incense rising to me. Do not do this in fear, but in authority, for that house does not belong to the enemy, it belongs to me. I have entrusted it to your care. There are things you have kept that seem harmless, yet in the spiritual realm they have become cords that bind. Old gifts tied to painful memories, symbols that do not honor me, sounds and images you have allowed without discernment, all carry messages, all hold energy. Ask me and I will show you what to remove. Do not cling to them, do not reason with them. Let your heart understand that letting go is not loss, it is making room for my presence. As I commanded Joshua, put away the foreign gods which are among you, and incline your heart to the Lord. Joshua 2:4-2-3. Only then did Israel enter the promised land. In the same way you will not know true peace until you cleanse the space where I dwell. You say you are tired. I know. But I also know that your weariness does not come only from labor. It comes from the unseen collision between realms that you have not yet named. There are nights when you wrestle with thoughts you cannot explain. You think it is anxiety, but it is the clash of light and darkness around you. Each time you pray, the fire within your spirit burns brighter, and the enemy cannot bear it. He stirs the air, provoking irritation, anger, and misunderstanding. You think the arguments are about small things, but they are the enemy's attempt to silence prayer in your home. When an argument is about to erupt, remember my word, be still, and know that I am God. That stillness is not weakness, it is your weapon. When you refuse to react in the flesh, you unsheath your spiritual sword. The enemy knows not what to do with a soul that remains calm in faith. When others are harsh, breathe a prayer. When you are attacked, answer with gentleness. In those moments heaven bends near, for I see the image of my Son in you. You were not chosen merely to endure, you were chosen to reign. But to reign you must understand authority. Authority does not come through loudness, but through surrender. When you come under my command, every other power must bow. Remember when my Son's disciples failed to cast out the spirit. He said, "This kind can come out only by prayer and fasting." Mark 9:2-9. Power is not in the ritual, it is in the depth of connection. That is why I am calling you into a time of fasting and intercession, not to make me hear faster, but to help you hear clearer. Let your body hunger, so that your spirit may be filled. Let the time you would spend at the table become time at my feet. Do not fear when your home begins to tremble. If there are strange sounds, heavy atmospheres, or sudden disruptions, know that darkness is being exposed. Do not flee. Do not cry out in panic. Lift your voice in praise. When the walls of Jericho fell, it was not by sword but by shout. When Paul and Silas sang in prison, chains broke and doors flew open. So it will be with you. When you sing in the storm, you declare to the unseen world, the throne of God still stands here. Your praise is not emotion, it is strategy. And know this, my child, tomorrow is not a threat but an invitation. An invitation to stand in the position I prepared for you. When you face the shaking, you will see me in the fire. When you enter the battle through prayer, you will understand why I call you a warrior of light. Do not pray for the storm to end too soon, pray to stand firm within it. For it is there that you will see me strongest. I know your heart is fragile, but it is that very tenderness, that made me choose you. I do not choose the perfect, I choose the willing. As David stood alone in the field with only a harp and faith, yet I saw a king within him. So I see in you one who will guard the doorway of your home from the shadows. Do not doubt what I have spoken. When you walk in obedience, heaven moves. When you speak my name, darkness recoils. When you hold your heart in peace, my angels stand watch. My child, tomorrow will come, and the veil will be lifted. You will see what once hid in silence. There will be a moment when you feel everything is out of your hands, but that will be the very moment I take hold. Do not fear, for the shaking is purification. Like gold in the fire, you will come out brighter. Let all that can be shaken, so that the only unshakable thing left is me. Remember, your house is not a battlefield of defeat, but an altar of victory. And where there is an altar, there is fire. Listen now with a calm heart, for what I am speaking is not to frighten you, but to place in your hands a fire no one can quench. The battle in your home will pass, but what I want you to grasp is not just temporary calm. It is the revelation of holy fire, the fire that turns chaos into consecration. You have heard me in the storm, you have seen darkness rise, but now I want you to see something greater, the flame I am kindling in the ruins. For I, the Lord, am a consuming fire, not to destroy, but to refine. Beloved, every precious metal must pass through the furnace. No one shines without heat. So it is with your soul. You are passing through a furnace I prepared specifically for you. You were not thrown in as punishment, but led in as one chosen. This fire was not lit by human hands, but by my breath. It will burn away what is not of me, but it will keep what is pure. Do not pray first for the fire to stop. Pray for strength to remain in the fire without being consumed. For when the fire has finished its work, you will not be the same. Fear will no longer move you. Small temptations will no longer rule you. The fear of losing things will no longer chain you. Fire will teach you to live with open hands, so I can fill them. You say, Lord, I have lost so much, but you do not yet see I am making room. I am burning away what is rotten, what has drained you, what was binding you to old seasons. Do not weep for what I remove, for I never take without giving better. Leave the ashes where they fall, for I will cause flowers to spring up among the ashes. As I said in Isaiah 6:1-3, I give a crown instead of ashes, the oil of gladness instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. Ashes are not the end, they are the soil of new life. You will see that every shaking has purpose. When the wall cracks, light can enter. When an altar falls, I rebuild it with my own hands. You feared loss, but some things can only be truly seen when they are taken away. You thought peace meant no trouble, but I tell you, true peace is to stand in the storm with a quiet heart. When I permit the fire, I stand in it with you. As I was with the 3 friends of Daniel in the furnace, so I am now in your house. They were not burned. Not even the smell of smoke clung to them, for a 4th man walked with them. If you look with the eyes of faith, you too will see me walking in the fire of your home, not from the outside, but in the hottest place, keeping you from harm. Remember, fire does not only expose the enemy, it exposes you. Fire does not create what is inside, it reveals it. It makes the real stand out and burns the counterfeit. So when pressure rises, when words cut deep, when tension hits your sorest places, do not quickly accuse me. Look inward and ask, Lord, what are you teaching me in this fire? I am teaching you obedience. Obedience not only when I bless, but when I am silent. Obedience not only when you understand, but when there is no explanation. True obedience is incense in smoke. It is the yes, Lord, spoken through tears. That is where you become my instrument, not just to survive, but to release others. When the fire passes, you will notice something else. The atmosphere will shift. Light in your home will feel clearer. Your voice will carry more weight. Your prayers will cut like a sword. A soul that has passed through fire walks with an authority darkness respects. Even those who once dismissed you will sense something different in your eyes, the calm of one tested and proven. You will not react as before. You will not panic with every change. You will walk like one held by an unseen hand. This is what I am after, a faith not ruled by the weather of life, a love not based on conditions, a loyalty not shaken by time. Tomorrow as dawn rises, you will enter a new phase. Some will leave, and some I will send. Do not grieve those who go. Their part in your story is complete. Open your heart to those I bring, for they are part of the expansion I promised. They will help you rebuild the broken walls. They will help you raise a new altar where prayer and praise will never go out. And your house will once again be called the place where I dwell. I will give you a sign that the fire is dying down. You will begin to feel a deep inward stillness, a peace that does not match the outside. When you feel that, know that I have finished the first phase of refining. Do not rush out. Stay in the silence a little longer so new oil can be poured. If you hurry, the flame will die before the light is fully formed. Stay before me until I say, now go. My child, I know that to others what you are enduring looks like loss, but in my eyes it is preparation for a calling you never imagined. I am making you a pillar, a gatekeeper in the spirit, one whose single prayer can summon the armies of heaven. That is why the enemy has tried to trouble your house. He fears that the flame in you will spread. He fears that from that house will rise intercession, prophecy, and revival. But he cannot stop it. I have sealed you. Everything begins at home. If you are faithful in that small sanctuary, I will enlarge your territory. If you guard the small altar in your heart, I will entrust you with altars for nations. If you keep the light in your house, I will make that light shine in the streets. But if you let the fire die where you live, you will have nothing to give the world. So I say, guard the fire. Keep your lamp burning, your oil full, your heart tender. Let every breath, every word, every choice be worship. Tomorrow when you wake, you will feel the air different, cleaner, clearer, because darkness has withdrawn. You will hear a holy stillness, not dead silence, but living quiet where I dwell. You will see light spilling through the window, and you will know God has entered my house. And then, my child, kneel not in fear, but in gratitude. Say, Lord, thank you for refining me through the fire. And I will speak to you gentle but with power. My child, now you are ready. The fire no longer burns you, it burns in you. It will light the road before you, and from this day on you will no longer fear tomorrow. For I, the Lord your God, am in this house, and I will not depart. My beloved child, I know there are places in your heart that you do not want anyone to touch. You cover them with smiles, with work, with busyness, because you fear that if they are touched, the pain will wake again. But I, the one who knit you together, know every fiber of your soul. I know where it broke, where it still bleeds, and where it has grown dry. And only when my light touches those places can the darkness disappear. Do not resist me. Let me enter. Let your tears fall, for tears are jewels in my kingdom. They are not weakness, they are the most beautiful form of surrendering faith. Once you said to me, Lord, use me, make me a vessel in your hands. And I heard you. But my child, a vessel must be forged. A sword cannot become sharp without fire and hammer. Gold cannot shine without the furnace. In the same way, you cannot reflect my glory unless you walk through refinement. I am not punishing you, I am preparing you. As Joseph was sold, imprisoned, and forgotten, yet all those moments were part of the journey toward the throne I had chosen for him. So too, your present pain is not punishment. It is a divine invitation to go deeper into my design. When the fire reaches the deepest parts of your soul, all that is false will fall away. You will see who your true companions are, who merely walked beside you for a season. You will recognize the difference between faith and habit. You will discover what you truly believe about me, not by what you say, but by how you live. Many claim to trust me, yet when the winds shift, their faith proves only like a garment. But I want no garments on you, child. I want a bare, honest heart, unmasked and uncovered. For when there is nothing left to hide, I can fill you completely. This refining will teach you the beauty of silence. Once you feared it. You dreaded the days when I seemed to say nothing, the mornings, without feeling the nights of unanswered prayer. But my silence is not absence. It is the pause before a new melody begins. I am silent, not because I am far, but because I am working more deeply where words cannot reach. Like a seed in the dark soil, silence does not mean death. It means growth unseen. Rest in that stillness. Do not fear the darkness when I am within it. During refinement, you will be drawn away from what once thrilled you. Certain conversations will feel empty. Some people you once admired will lose their pull. Do not mistake that for coldness. You are simply changing frequency. Your spirit is rising higher, and what does not vibrate at that level will fall away naturally. Like an eagle shedding old feathers, it must fly to the high winds so that the past can be stripped off. Then it soars higher, freer. So it is with you, my child. I am lifting you above the lower planes to see farther, deeper, and love purer. This refinement is not only about what you release, but what you will receive. I will teach you to hear my voice with new clarity. Once you needed signs, confirmations, others to tell you what I said. But after the fire, you will know that my voice is within you. When you learn to be still, you will hear me in the whisper of the wind, in your breathing, in the light of morning. You will realize I never left, only that the world's noise had covered my gentle sound. And once you can hear, I will give you discernment. In this season, not everything labeled good comes from me, and not everything that ends is a loss. Some doors I close because they would lead you astray. Some relationships end because they cannot walk with your calling. I do not destroy, I protect. When something is taken, do not call it defeat. Ask me, Lord, what are you protecting me from? You will be amazed at how many traps I have delivered you out of unseen. Remember, the path of refinement is not the path of crowds. Many will not understand. They will say you've changed, become strange, withdrawn, but do not let their words shake you. Not everyone is called to walk into the fire. Some are called only to watch. You, however, are chosen to enter and emerge with light in your eyes and oil upon your forehead. Let your difference be your sign, not your burden. Do not blend in where I have set you apart. Do not run back to comfort when I am calling you into holiness. While you are in this process, do one thing: give thanks. Be grateful in all things, even before you see the outcome. Gratitude will unlock doors in the spirit. It changes atmospheres, renews the mind, and shifts destinies. When you thank me in pain, heaven listens. When you praise me in fire, I draw near, for I inhabit the praises of my people. What I am doing is not just for you, but for others who will be touched through you. Every healed wound will become a source of comfort. Every trial you conquer will become testimony. You will speak not from theory, but from encounter. You will be living proof that God is with those who allow Him to refine them. And then, my child, the flame that once made you weep will become a light for others lost in darkness. When refinement has completed its work, your soul will rise like dawn after the storm. You will see that what you endured was not destruction, but birth. Every time I allow fire to touch you, it is the sign of new life beginning. You cried, wrestled, waited, but now those cries are the cries of birth. Your soul is being reborn. Look and see, you are no longer the same. You speak slower, listen deeper. You are no longer moved by small things nor hungry for approval. The worries that once kept you awake now hold no power, not because you are numb, but because you have been remade. The inner layers of your soul have been restructured, and now everything you think, feel, and do flows from a new source, the river of life that is me. Understand this rebirth is not a single moment, it is a journey. When I say be renewed in the spirit of your mind, I mean the transformation of your entire inner being. You will sense that old patterns no longer fit. You will crave my presence as you crave air. You will realize that you can no longer live on borrowed prayers, you must hear directly from me. This is the sign of maturity. A child cannot live forever on milk, and a chosen soul cannot stay at the elementary level. I am leading you into spiritual adulthood where you learn to stand, to listen, to declare. Do you know, my child, that those who have passed through refinement carry the mark of fire in their eyes? They walk with uncommon calm, with peace that cannot be stolen, and with wisdom that no book can teach. They speak little, for they know that power rests not in many words, but in words anointed. So it will be with you. True rebirth will not make you louder, but gentler, not more visible, but more radiant. It will not make you seek applause, but intimacy with me. I once told you, be still and know that I am God. Psalm 4:6-1-0. Now you will understand what be still truly means. It is not passivity, it is trust that stands unmoved while the world shifts. When you are still in me, I move for you. When you are silent, I speak through you. When you stop trying to control, I cause all things to align with my will. True rebirth happens when your soul finally accepts this truth. You do not need to understand everything in order to believe. My beloved child, do not be surprised if I lead you into ordinary days after the fire. Many look for miracles, but the greatest miracle is faithfulness in the smallest things. After great spiritual shaking, I will teach you the art of endurance, because endurance is the foundation of lasting glory. You were not born to chase emotion, but to carry my glory in every season. Like Moses, who saw the bush burning but then spent 40 years in the wilderness learning to listen, the fire you just walked through was not an ending, it was an opening. You are entering the season of hidden wisdom. I will begin to speak to you through the smallest things, a ray of light through the window, a verse that pierces your heart, a meeting that seems random but carries eternal meaning. This is how I teach you to discern heaven's signs in earthly details. As your spirit is reborn, you will begin to see me everywhere, in the breath you take, in the wind that moves the leaves, in the drop of dew, in the song of morning birds. For I am no longer only above you, I am within you. You will notice that your prayers will change. They will no longer sound like hurried requests, but like intimate conversations. You will no longer speak to me as a distant God, but as a father, a friend, the very breath of your being. And when you pray, you will feel the power of companionship, not only when you speak, but when you are still. Spiritual rebirth transforms prayer from duty into the soul's natural rhythm of life. One of the most beautiful fruits of rebirth is the ability to love without fear. Once you loved with conditions because you feared betrayal, but now you will love because I love. Your love will no longer depend on how others respond. It will flow from a source that never runs dry. You will find yourself forgiving faster, letting go quicker, and losing the desire to hold grudges. For a healed soul no longer needs armor. This love will be your mark, and whoever touches you will touch me. I am expanding your capacity, my child. As your spirit grows, you will be able to carry more responsibility, more people, more pain, but also more glory. Once a single harsh word could break you, now you will remain steady and calm. Once criticism silenced you, now you will smile knowing I have already approved you. You will become a refuge for weary souls, because you know what it is to be lifted when you were weak. Do not forget, every rebirth carries a calling. I did not renew you just for peace, but for purpose. All who are refined bear a mission. I am preparing you for yours. It may not be grand in the eyes of the world, but it will shake hearts. You may never preach from a pulpit, but you will preach by the way you live. You may never write a book, but your eyes will become a living scripture. From now on, live as one born twice. Do not live by old instincts. Let your words, thoughts, and actions flow from the deepest place where I dwell. When you see someone in pain, do not turn away, draw near. When you see darkness, do not hide, shine. When you see another home trembling, remember yours once did, and stretch out your hand. I will walk with you in every step, for what I began in you will overflow to many others. And when you feel darkness trying to return, remember you have already passed through the fire. You are not who you were. Even when the winds rise, the flame within remains. I have placed an eternal spark in you, and no power can extinguish it. So walk, my child, with a humble heart and shining eyes. For from this day forward, you are not merely a survivor, you are a bearer of life. My child, now that your soul has been refined and reborn, I come to give you something only those who have passed through fire can carry: authority. Not the authority of status or title, but of the Spirit, the power to declare, to bind, and loose, to release, to speak what I command and see it come to pass. For faith untested carries no weight, and words unrefined carry no power. But now, my child, every word you speak from humility and faith will be registered in heaven. I watched you in the fire. I saw you pray through tears, praise through pain, and stay faithful in loneliness. Those moments, not your strength, opened heaven's gates. Heaven does not seek perfection, it seeks perseverance. Because you did not leave me in the night, I can now trust you with the dawn. I am sending you out, not as one merely rescued, but as one commissioned. True authority is not found in a loud voice, but in deep surrender. A soul fully yielded to me can move both heaven and earth. When you speak in my name, darkness must retreat. When you lift your hands in intercession, angels are dispatched. When you enter a place, the spiritual atmosphere shifts, because I go with you. Not because you are worthy, but because you have allowed me to live in you. As my son said, I have given you authority to trample on snakes and scorpions and to overcome all the power of the enemy. Nothing will harm you. Luke 10:19. That word is no longer ink on a page. It is a decree etched into your spirit. I have placed a flame in you, not to light your path alone, but to shine for many. I will lead you into places long held by darkness, broken families, weary hearts, faithless cities. You will not need grand gestures. Your very presence will carry heaven's climate. Wherever you set your feet, I will open doors. Every word you speak in my name will strike with precision. Every glance of compassion will heal. For I have entrusted you with the authority to bring restoration to desolate places. The enemy will not stand still. He will test you with old weapons: pride, fear, doubt. He knows that if he cannot trap you in sin, he will try to drain your strength. But do not fear. Remember, true authority does not depend on your power, but on your position. When you remain in me, no force can touch you. When your eyes stay fixed on me, no arrow can hit you. When you walk in obedience, even the roughest paths become smooth. So stand tall, my child, quiet, steadfast, burning with holy fire. You have walked through the furnace, and now you carry its light. You will speak, and chains will break. You will walk, and peace will follow. You will pray, and heaven will move. For I, the Lord your God, am with you, and I will not withdraw my hand from your life. My child, I am not sending you out as a lonely warrior, but as one carrying the mandate of a heavenly bloodline. You do not go alone. You are the voice of a kingdom. Every time you speak my word, angels record it. Every time you sing in faith, that sound reaches my throne. Every time you intercede for someone, light from your lips pierces the darkness where they are bound. And I will send my angels with you to carry out what has been spoken. This sending is not only to do, but to remain. I do not call you out and then leave you on the road. I go before you to make the way straight. I go behind you to protect, and I walk beside you to instruct. When you open your mouth, I will put words in it. When you stretch out your hand, I will pour power through it. When you pray, I will listen as a father listens to his beloved child. So do not be afraid of not being enough. I chose you not because you were enough, but because you were willing, and that willingness is what moves heaven. I will send you to the desperate, to those who have lost their faith, to those who once walked with me but have now grown cold. They do not need rebuke, first they need to see love. Let your eyes speak before your mouth does. Let compassion lead your counsel. Remember, light does not argue with darkness, it simply shines. When you bring love with you, chains will fall. When you speak with mercy, prison doors will open. When you live in forgiveness, you will break generational curses. When I send you, I also teach you how to abide. Abide in me, abide in my word, abide in my peace. If you remain in me, you will never run dry. If you remain in my word, you will never lose your way. If you remain in my peace, you will never tremble. And when you abide in me, you become like a branch joined to the vine, bearing fruit without strain. Remember what my son said in John 1:5, I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me, and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. My child, this is the secret of authority, abiding in me. Lift up your eyes and see the field before you. It is wide, white, and waiting for reapers. There are souls I have already prepared to meet you. You won't have to chase them, I will bring them. Some will come in tears, some in anger, some in silence, but all are thirsty for me. Listen more than you speak. Take them by the hand and let them see me in your gaze. Use simple words, for my power does not rest in eloquence but in truth. When you walk in authority, things you once begged for will begin to happen naturally. Doors will open without you pushing. Walls will fall without you striking. People will be healed simply because you spoke a word of faith. Not because you are special, but because I am moving through you. And when that happens, bow low. Do not become proud, for authority is not your glory. It is my presence in you. Always remember, the brighter the light, the smaller the shadow must stay to keep balance. Humility will keep you in the place where the light does not blind you. This is the hour for those who have passed through fire, who no longer fear being misunderstood, no longer fear loss, no longer crave recognition. They desire only me. You are one of them. Step out, warrior of light. The door is open. You have passed through fire, through water, through the night, and now you enter the dawn. Walk with the gentleness of a lamb and the strength of a lion. Speak when I say speak, be silent when I say be silent, act when I say act. For from now on your mouth will not speak only prayers, it will speak creative words. And I, the Lord your God, say to you, go, shine, rule, not by your might, but by my power, not for your glory, but for mine. And when the world sees what I do through you, they will know that I am still alive, I still love, and I still choose small people to do great things. My child, after I give you authority, the first place I will lead you to is not a place of glory, but the wilderness. Do not be confused, for everyone I choose must pass through this land. No one can carry kingdom rule who has never tasted aloneness. It is in the barren place, in the dry silence and lack, that I will teach you to hear me without signs, to stand when no one is standing with you, to trust when nothing is visible. The wilderness is not punishment, it is the school of the Spirit. Remember, even my son Jesus, after being anointed, was led by the Spirit into the wilderness. Not dragged there by the devil, led there by the Spirit, because power does not mature in comfort. Anointing must be tested in a place without crowds, without applause, without affirmation. The only place you can truly know you believe me is when you have only me. It is there in that silence that my voice is clearest. It is in the desert that I speak things you would never hear in the noise of the city. As you enter the wilderness, you will feel everything being stripped. Familiar things will be gone. Familiar people will not be there. You will look for comfort, and I will let you find it in no one but me. You will call, and it will seem there is no answer. But I am there, I am simply silent, so that you learn to hear with your spirit, not only with your ears. I want your inner man so sensitive that the slightest breath of mine makes you know what I am saying. Those I send into the world cannot depend on noise, they must live by the whisper. The wilderness is not only a place of loneliness, it is a place of pruning. Day by day you will realize that what you once thought important no longer matters. I will let you hunger, not because I forgot you, but to teach you that man shall not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God. Matthew 4:4. When you are hungry, I will feed you with spiritual manna. When you are thirsty, I will make water flow from the rock. When you are weak, I will give you strength that is not of the flesh but of grace. Do not rush to leave the wilderness. Many I have chosen were ruined along the way because they tried to escape the place I wanted them to remain. My child, only in the solitary place does the roots of faith grow deep. Like a tree in the desert that must drive its roots far down to find water, so your soul must go deep into my word to find life. When you have no one else to lean on, you will learn to lean on me for real. When you have nothing left to hold, you will learn to fall fully into my hands. And that is when you become truly free. I know there will be nights in the desert when the wind is cold and your heart trembles. You will ask, Lord, did I take the wrong path? Why did you lead me into this emptiness? But I say to you, my child, you have not missed the way, you are on the straightest way. For in the place where there is nothing, you will find everything. When human voices cease, you will hear my heartbeat. When every other source runs dry, you will discover the spring within where I dwell. I do not use the wilderness only to strip, but to train. Every step on the sand is a lesson in steadfastness. Every hot wind is a lesson in patience. Every dry day is a lesson in gratitude. There you will learn to worship without music, to pray without many words, to love without response. You will become more like me, for I too walk the deserts of humanity to find and save you. As you walk in the wilderness, the enemy will come to whisper, just as he came to my son. He will say, if you are really a child of God, turn these stones to bread. He will try to plant doubt in your identity. But remember, your identity does not come from what you can do, but from the one who called you. You do not have to prove who you are. You only have to remain in me, and that alone makes hell tremble. When you are tested, answer not with feelings, but with my word. When you are attacked in your thoughts, wield scripture like a double-edged sword. When you feel weak, remember it is in weakness that my power is made perfect. I will also allow you to face the silence of friends, the misunderstanding of others, and the distance of those who once supported you. Do not grow bitter. They did not abandon you. I set you apart. I want you to know that no one can walk this stretch with you but me. They can pray for you, but they cannot walk it for you. The wilderness is a private journey between you and me. Every footprint you leave in the sand is an imprint of faith, and heaven records each one. My beloved child, when you begin to embrace the wilderness, you will discover something marvelous. The place that seemed driest is where the living spring is hidden. I have placed a well inside you. It will flow when you worship, even without music. It will rise when you intercede for others, even while you yourself are in need. That spring is my spirit, the comforter, the guide, the one who nourishes your soul in every season. When you feel empty, call on me. I will cause that well to rise. Do not despise the value of unseen days. When no one is watching, I am writing. When no one applauds, I am building. When you think you have been left behind, I am hiding you to protect you. I cover you under my wings as Moses was hidden in the cleft of the rock when my glory passed by. If I let you be seen too soon, the light could burn you. But when the time comes in this very wilderness, I will make flowers bloom. And people will ask, how can there be life in such a dry place? Then you will smile and say, "Because the Lord was with me in the wilderness." Keep your heart tender. The wilderness will test you, but don't let it turn your heart to stone. Let your tears wash away the dust, so that your heart still trembles at the cry of another. Let solitude teach you compassion, so that when you emerge you will not judge the weak, but lift them up through the lessons you have learned. For the one who has endured the desert understands the worth of a single drop of water. The one who has known loneliness knows how to comfort others simply by being present. My child, be courageous. The wilderness lasts only until it has fulfilled its purpose. When I see that your heart no longer fears, when you have learned to love me, not for blessings but for who I am, when you can praise me amid dryness, then I will lead you out, but you will not be the same. Your eyes will carry the light of one who has seen me in the night. Your heart will hold a flame that never dies, and your lips will speak the words that the desert has etched deep within. In the silence of the wasteland, where no other voices echo, and every sound fades into stillness, I am doing a work unseen by your eyes, yet felt by your soul each day. The wilderness is not just a place of testing, it is a place of transformation. In emptiness, I am reshaping you not from the outside, but from within. For I do not simply want you to pass through the wilderness. I want you to become the wilderness itself, where nothing stands between you and me, where my presence is enough, where everything else fades into nothingness. In the days of solitude, when you can no longer find words to pray, I still hear the prayer of your soul. It is not spoken through lips, but written in every breath. I hear it in your sighs. I see it when your silent gaze turns toward heaven. I understand even when no words are spoken, for I am the one who placed that language within you. Do not think I am far away, for silence does not mean distance. Silence is the proof that I am near, so near that you no longer need to cry out loud. When I lead you into the dry land, I am not trying to exhaust you. I am taking away the things you once relied on to sustain yourself. You have grown used to carrying your own burdens, arranging your own path, and staying in control. But now I am teaching you the lesson of those who walk in power, the lesson of surrender. You cannot hold the steering wheel and still expect me to lead. You cannot say, "Your will be done," while clinging to your own. The wilderness strips you bare, but in that bareness you will discover true freedom. There will be days when you feel abandoned, but know this: it is the sign that I am separating you from every other dependency. I do not allow loneliness to wound you. I allow it to reveal to you what it means to be with me. My presence is unlike the presence of people. It is not loud, not always visible, but steady as breath itself. When you no longer depend on emotions, you will learn the constancy of faith. When you can no longer hear sound, you will begin to sense the movement of the Spirit within you, and that is the first transformation of a maturing soul. Let the wilderness do its work. Do not resist. The hot sand may hurt your feet, but every step is a mark of obedience. The blazing sun may tire you, but that same light is the fire I use to forge you. In every drop of sweat, I am refining your motives, so you no longer act out of fear nor pray out of need, but out of love. For love is the only force that keeps you alive in the desert. Not strength, not knowledge, but love. Love for me and the love I pour into you. Remember, I once led my people through 40 years in the wilderness, not because the path was long, but because their hearts were unprepared. They witnessed miracles, but never let those miracles transform their faith. They ate manna, but still complained. They saw water flow from the rock, but still doubted me. I do not want that repeated in you. So when you walk through your desert, I will teach you not to seek miracles around you, but to find the miracle within. When you learn to give thanks in dryness, that is your victory. When you can say, "Lord, you are still good in the midst of loss, you have already borne my image." Transformation in the desert does not happen in a moment, but in small, quiet days. Today you may learn to stay silent instead of complaining. Tomorrow you may learn gratitude instead of fear. The next day, prayer instead of judgment. And one morning, without realizing it, you will find that your heart has changed. The old fears have melted away. You no longer react as before. Anger no longer controls you. Loneliness no longer weakens you. At that moment I will say, "Now you understand. I am forging your soul into a sword, my child." But swords are not made in festivals, they are forged in fire. Every strike of the hammer is corrected. Every crack mended is healing. I am not shaping you to make you suffer, but to make you sharp. A dull sword may look beautiful, but it is useless. I need you not just to appear faithful, but to break chains for others. That can only happen when you allow me to shatter the flesh within you. Listen closely. When your soul begins to be forged, everything around you will shift. Silence will grow deeper. Your prayers will carry weight. Each time you say, "Your will be done," heaven will tremble, for those words are no longer theory, but surrender. When you forgive, it will no longer be a moral effort, but a weapon against darkness. When you praise, it will no longer be a song, but a divine strategy. That is the sign you have changed from one who seeks blessings to one who carries them. Do not despise the slow days of the desert. These are the days I rewrite your identity. You are no longer a victim of trials, but one chosen to carry fire through them. You no longer ask, "Why did you let this happen?" But Lord, what are you teaching me? That small shift makes heaven rejoice, for it is the voice of a soul that has matured. When you learn to see the wilderness through the eyes of faith, it will no longer seem barren. You will begin to notice faint rays of light, a promise, a sign, a warmth in the cold night. These glimmers are proof that I have never left you. They are torches guiding you out of dryness. And when you finally step out, you will no longer fear the dark, because you have learned that the light has always been within you. My child, when transformation is complete, you will witness a wonder. The very desert that once made you tremble will become your refuge. You will no longer run from it, but seek it whenever you long to hear my voice. For in that stillness you have learned to touch heaven with a breath. You will understand that true power is not in noise, but in perfect quiet. And when you have learned this, I will know you are ready for the next door. As the winds in the wilderness begin to settle, and the morning light spreads across the earth, be still, for what I am about to speak will close the chapter of testing and open the chapter of vision. Everything has been fulfilled. The fire has burned, the wind has blown, the sand has worn away the proud edges within you. Now your soul is no longer hard, but soft like soil after rain. I have waited for this moment, when you no longer resist, no longer ask why, but simply open your heart and say, "Lord, here I am." No one walks out of the wilderness the same as when they entered. The one who entered carried burdens. The one who emerged carries light. You have passed through long nights where no answer was heard, but it was in that very silence that my Spirit engraved my words upon your heart. Now you no longer need me to speak aloud, for my voice beats in rhythm with your heart. What could be more precious than the moment when your soul and my spirit become one harmony, where my breath becomes your breath, where my will becomes your pulse? Look back on the journey you've traveled. There were paths you thought were dead ends, yet they were the curves that led you deeper into my purpose. There were losses you thought you could never endure, yet those very voids made room for me to enter. Not a single tear you shed was wasted. Each one watered the seeds of transformation, and now those seeds have begun to bloom into calling. This is the hour for you to step out of the wilderness, not to return to what was, but to enter the new land of your soul. Do not seek the people, the habits, the places that once felt familiar. They are no longer part of you. You are no longer defined by wounds, by failures, or by memories. You are defined by the light I have placed within you, and that light will make darkness recognize you even before you speak a word. As you cross the boundary of the desert, I will show you a vision. You will see a wide field, not barren but alive. You will hear water flowing where dryness once reigned. You will feel your feet touch soft soil that no longer burns. Everything around you will look familiar, yet new, for your eyes have been opened. Before you saw the world through emotion, now you see through faith. Before you searched for signs outside, now you recognize the miracle within your very breath. Listen closely. The union between your soul and my spirit is the beginning of all miracles. There is no longer a divide between me and you, only us. When you speak, I will speak through you. When you touch someone, it will be my hand that touches them. When you love, it will be my love flowing through you. You no longer need to strive for strength has become your nature. You no longer need to chase greatness, for my presence within you is power. I know there are still moments when you tremble thinking of the path ahead, but remember, my child, I did not bring you out of the wilderness for you to return to your old ways. I brought you out to send you forth, not to search for light, but to carry it. The fire that once burned within you will now spread not through noise but through peace, not through preaching but through living. As you go, you will meet those still trapped in their own desert souls, weary with thirst hearts that have lost their faith. You will recognize them not by sight but by spirit. They will carry in their eyes the same ache you once knew, the same hunger to hear my voice. Draw near to them, my child. Do not judge. Do not try to fix, simply love. Tell them that the wilderness is not the end. Tell them there is one who waits in the wasteland, ready to turn the barren into a stream. When you speak, use the words that once saved you. When you pray, remember the thirst you once felt. When you lift your hands, let compassion lead you. When I see you love others with the love I've placed within you, I see my own reflection in your eyes. For this is the deepest form of transformation, not when you escape suffering, but when you turn suffering into empathy. Not when fear disappears, but when you choose to love, even while trembling. Not when you are healed, but when you become the vessel of healing. Do you know this, my child? The first steps you take out of the desert are holy steps. Heaven holds its breath to watch, and the earth records every footprint. For each step declares that darkness did not win, that love is stronger than fear, that grace is mighty enough to revive what seemed dead. From this day on, wherever you walk, life will spring forth. Barren lands will bloom. Cold hearts will be warmed. And you, the one who once cried out in lonely nights, will now become the trumpet call that awakens many others. Keep within you the stillness of the desert, for when you re-enter the world, its noise will try to make you forget. It will lure you with applause, with success, with work, and you may think you are serving me when in truth you are running. So return daily to the wilderness of your heart. Create a sacred space where only you and I dwell. That secret place will anchor you amidst the noise. There I will continue to speak. You have been tested, refined, transformed, and now you are sent. But never forget, every beginning and every ending rests in me. The wilderness has made you a listener, and those who truly listen will lead the next generation. You do not need to rush or prove yourself. You need only to remain faithful, for in faithfulness there is glory. In silence there is power, and in weakness there is my grace. And I, the Lord your God, say to you, you have dwelt in darkness, and I have become your light. You have passed through dryness, and I have become the living stream within you. You have fallen, and I have lifted you up. Now go, my beloved one, for you are no longer a child of darkness, but a torch in my hand, shining through the night of the world. Go forth. The wilderness has finished its work. You have met me, and I now dwell within you. From this moment on, wherever you set your foot, that place becomes holy ground, a promised land. My beloved, when you leave the wilderness, I will not lead you straight up the mountain, but into a valley, a place deep and still where the soil is soft and the waters murmur between the rocks. Many think glory dwells on the mountaintop, yet my most sacred covenants are not made in the wind's heights, but in the low ground where one must bow. The valley is where I speak to the humble, where I plant the seeds of promises that only faith can receive. You have passed through fire, through water, through solitude. Now I lead you to the place of covenant. Covenant is not a contract between me and you, as men make with one another. It is the joining of my heart and yours. When I make a covenant, I ask for nothing but faithfulness. I do not seek perfection. I seek a heart that remains. For every blessing, every calling, every authority is born from a heart that knows how to stay true. In this valley, you will feel something different from the wilderness, no longer burning fire but cleansing water. After refining with fire, I wash with water. You will watch old things within you drift away like silt in a stream. I will wash away fear, wash away shame, wash away every false image you once held of me. For to enter a covenant, you must know the one with whom you covenant. I am not a distant God seated on a cold throne. I am the one who bends low, who washes your feet, who embraces your soul when you cannot stand on your own. I have waited for this day, the day you come, not to ask but to give, not to pray out of fear but out of longing, not to seek comfort but to seek the Comforter himself. I have waited to see you come not with empty hands but with an open heart. And as you step into this valley, I see it in your eyes. You are no longer a beggar of grace. You are a bearer of covenant. In this valley, I remind you that I am the God of covenant, not of coincidence. From Noah to Abraham, from Moses to David, I have always made a covenant before revealing my plans. For I build nothing upon the earth without the foundation of commitment. And now I come to seal a covenant with you, not with ink, but with fire and water. The fire has already burned in the wilderness. Now this water will bear witness. I declare, my child, from this day forward, you will no longer live for yourself, but for me. You will no longer chase your own dreams, but walk in my design. You will no longer fear loss for whatever I take. I take only to renew. This covenant is not a burden, it is a covering. As you walk in this covenant, heaven will acknowledge you as one marked with my seal. Darkness will recognize you as one it cannot touch. Angels will know that you are woven into the kingdom's design. I know you are afraid. Afraid you are not strong enough to remain faithful, not steadfast enough to stay. But this covenant is not upheld by your will, it is upheld by my love. When you are weak, that love will lift you. When you wander, that love will call you. When you fall, that love will cover you. That is why I chose the valley, the place of soft ground, where the roots of my love may grow deep. On mountaintops, the soil is hard. In valleys, it is moist and fertile. And so it is with souls that have been broken. They are the richest ground for my love to take root. My child, remember the words I spoke in the seasons past. I promised I would never leave you no matter where you go. And now I reaffirm it, as I said to Job after the storm. Now my eyes have seen you, so it is with you. You have seen me not only through faith but through experience. You have touched my love in your tears. You have heard my voice in silence. And now you understand my promise is not only protection but union. This covenant is also a commission. I give you keys, not the keys of this world, but of heaven itself. Keys that open hearts, keys that open blind eyes, keys that break the chains of fear. You do not need to perform miracles. Simply walk in covenant, and miracles will arise around you. You do not need to prove faith. Faith will prove itself through every step you take. From this day forward, there is no boundary between you and me. Each time you speak truth, heaven will respond. Each time you love with compassion, the gates of heaven will open. Each time you lift your eyes, I will say, that one is mine. You are no longer a seeker but a steward, no longer a fugitive but one who is sent, no longer a beggar but a co-laborer with me. My child, I establish this covenant in the valley to teach you this greatness is not found in height but in depth. You do not need to climb higher to find me. You must go deeper, deeper, in obedience, in love, in trust. There I will meet you. There I will speak. There I will make all things new. The valley is not the end. It is the beginning. It is the bridge between what you have endured and what you are about to carry. It is where I will place on you a new mantle, a new ring, and a new name. And when you walk out of this place, each step you take will echo the declaration, "The covenant is sealed." Heaven has witnessed. And you, my beloved, will never walk alone again. Now, as the covenant between you and me is sealed in the valley, I begin to unveil to you what I have long kept hidden. There are secrets of heaven reserved only for those who have been broken, for only in a broken heart can truth dwell without distortion. You have passed through fire and through water. Now you are humble enough to hear. Open the ears of your heart, for I am about to reveal to you the deep mysteries of the plan I have prepared for you. My plan is not like the path of men. It is not drawn in straight lines, but in curves and turns. You once thought I was delaying you, but I was only realigning your direction. You once accused me of silence, but I was teaching you to listen with your spirit instead of your emotions. You once saw loss as failure, but those very losses became the stepping stones leading you to your purpose. Nothing I allow is wasted, not a tear, not a false accusation, not a lonely season. Everything has been arranged to shape you into one who can carry my glory without breaking beneath its weight. My plan always begins with a promise, but it is completed in a surrendered heart. I do not seek those who understand everything. I seek those who trust completely. You do not need to know all the details. You only need to take the next step in the light I give. Abraham did not know where he was going when I said go, but he went, and from that obedience, a nation was born. Moses did not know how the sea would part, yet he lifted his staff, and I made a way through the waters. So it is with you, my child. You do not need to understand the road, only to trust that I am leading. You are not merely an individual redeemed. You are a living link in the chain of my kingdom. Everything I do in you carries impact beyond you. When I save one soul, I am preparing the salvation of many through that one. When I heal one heart, I am opening the path for many hearts to be healed. You may think your story is personal, but in truth it is the prologue to a greater revival I will bring through others. Therefore, never underestimate your journey. It is an irreplaceable piece in my grand design. Let me tell you what I am doing. I am rebuilding ruined temples, not of stone, but of souls. I am calling the forgotten, the rejected, the ones who thought their worth was lost, to become the pillars of a new house. And you, my beloved, are one of the first stones. I did not choose you because you were strong, but because you were weak enough for my power to be revealed. I did not choose you for perfection, but because your brokenness has made you tender toward others. In this valley, I will teach you to see through the eyes of the Spirit. What once looked random will begin to reveal purpose. Old wounds will become doors. Failures will become testimonies. For I waste no pain. I turn tears into oil, ashes into beauty. And here in the quiet of the valley, I will unveil my plan not through thunder, but through whisper. For I do not speak to the loud, but to those who have learned to be still. My child, my plan for you is not about fame, but influence. Fame turns eyes toward you. Influence turns eyes toward me. I will use you to awaken sleeping hearts, to rekindle fires that have gone cold, to repair what has been broken between me and my people. You will not need to do grand things. You need only to walk sincerely, and the light of this covenant will shine through you. When you speak my words, they will carry life, not volume. When you pray, heaven will open, not because of your status, but because you bear the seal of covenant. This plan will require you to keep walking in faith. There will be days I seem silent again, not because I've left, but because I'm waiting for you to apply what you learned in the valley. You will remember the days I spoke, the nights I comforted you, and those memories will become lamps for your next steps. Just as my people carried the Ark of the Covenant across the Jordan, you too will carry this covenant within your heart through every new trial. Keep your heart steadfast, for from this point on you will not only hear my voice but act upon it. There will be things I ask of you that your mind cannot comprehend, people I call you to love, though your logic resists places I send you that seem without reason. But trust that I have never made a mistake. Every step, no matter how small, fits perfectly into a larger picture. And one day you will look back and say, "Now I understand, Lord, every detail had purpose. Do not seek validation from others." Often I will allow people not to understand you to guard you from pride. Sometimes I will let them doubt you so you learn to rest in my approval alone. Human praise is fleeting, but my gaze is eternal. I have called you mine, and no one can take that name from you. My beloved, in my plan no step is meaningless. Even when you are still moving. Even when you weep, you are being healed. Even when you lose, you are being prepared to receive. For in my kingdom all things are reversed. Those who lose will gain, those who humble themselves will be lifted up, those who die to themselves will live. And so it shall be with you. When you are faithful in the little, I will entrust you with the great. The plan has been revealed. It does not exist on a scroll, but within you. You are my letter, written not with ink, but with the living Spirit. When people see you, they will see my story. When they hear you, they will hear the echo of heaven. When they touch you, they will feel my mercy. That is the plan, that through you the world will know that I am still alive, still loving, and still calling hearts home. And now, my child, as the covenant is sealed and the plan unveiled, heaven itself begins to move to confirm what I have declared over your life. From the moment you said yes, things in the unseen realm began to shift. Angels were dispatched, old doors were closed, and new gates swung open. You may not see it with your eyes, but your spirit will know the atmosphere has changed. The heavens are stirring and something divine is awakening around you. This is the sign that the covenant has been sealed not only in word but in the power of the living God. I am the Lord your God, the God of signs. Since the beginning of time I have revealed my confirmation through visible symbols so that human faith might be strengthened. When Noah stepped out of the ark, I set a rainbow in the sky and said, "This is the sign of the covenant I made with you." When Abraham believed me, I caused his son to be born beyond the limits of the flesh, to prove that my word was true. When Moses stood before the burning bush that was not consumed, it was more than a miracle. It was a reminder that I speak, and what I speak cannot be consumed by time. Now, my child, I will also set my sign upon your life. This sign will not always appear as something extraordinary. Sometimes it will simply be the transformation within you that others can see. They will say, "This person is different." Your eyes will shine brighter, your words will carry greater weight, and the atmosphere around you will carry peace. That is the first sign, the mark of my presence upon you. Wherever you go, darkness must withdraw. Homes you enter will feel lighter. Hearts you speak to will find freedom without knowing why. You need not strive, just remain in covenant, and my mark will radiate naturally through you. There will also be signs from without, confirmations I arrange to strengthen your faith, a timely word, a recurring dream, a stranger speaking what you whispered in prayer. These are not coincidences. They are the harmony between heaven and earth. When I make a covenant, all creation begins to move in rhythm with my will. Pay attention to the small details, for within them lie great signs. Understand this, my child, signs are not given for pride but for trust. Many have seen signs and turned to worship the sign instead of the giver. Do not let that happen to you. Keep your heart tender, knowing that every miracle, every confirmation, every blessing is meant to draw you closer to me. When you see a sign, worship, do not analyze. When you hear my confirming voice, bow, do not demand more. For faith is not about seeing more but believing deeper. I will also place a sign within your soul, the sign of unshakable peace. Though the winds rise and the earth trembles, your heart will remain still. not because life is easy, but because you are rooted in my promise. That peace will be the seal the enemy cannot counterfeit. He may imitate light voice or wonders, but he cannot produce peace. When you feel true calm in the midst of chaos, know that I am there. The signs I give are not for you alone, but for the generations after you. This covenant will not end with your lifetime. It will flow to your descendants, to your spiritual children who will dwell under the roof of grace you build. Just as Abraham received blessings that flowed into a nation, so will you, my child. Through you, I will show mercy to many. Every soul you touch, every person you intercede for will carry a fragment of the imprint from this covenant. But I also tell you this: some will test you, doubt you, or oppose you, because they do not understand my signs. Do not argue. Do not defend yourself. The true sign needs no explanation time, and my power will testify for you. Remember, Joseph was mocked by his brothers for the dream I gave him. Yet one day they bowed before him, not because he sought it, but because my word came to pass. Therefore stay silent and remain faithful. In due time the sign will speak for itself. I will show you another sign, the sign of open doors. Doors you once knocked on in vain will now open of their own accord. Hearts once closed will now seek you out for prayer. Things you thought were lost will be restored in ways you did not imagine. But do not rejoice merely in what you see. Rejoice in what you have become. For every outward sign is only a reflection of inward transformation, and I will set an eternal sign upon you, the mark of union with me. Not all will see it, but the enemy will recognize it. Angels will bow, and the heavens will know you are mine. From now on, when you pray, your words will not linger in the air, but go straight to the throne of grace. When you worship, the atmosphere around you will tremble. When you take someone's hand and say, "Peace be with you," my peace will truly flow into them. That is the power of one who bears my mark. Do not fear that this sign will make you different. Yes, you will be different, but different to heal, to illuminate, to remind the world that I am still working. When they ask, "Why has everything around you changed?" say, "Because I belong to the living God." When they say, "There is something about you that brings peace," answer, "It is the presence of the Lord within me." Do not hide the light out of fear. Let it shine, for light was never meant to be concealed. My beloved, after the valley of covenant, I lead you up the mountain, not to escape the world, but to meet me in the fullness of glory. Everyone I call must pass through three places: the wilderness, for refining, the valley for covenant, and the mountain for empowerment. This is the hour of elevation, when your soul, washed by water and forged by fire, stands ready to receive the flame from heaven, the fire that will make you a torch burning through the darkness of the world. Look around this mountain. The wind blows differently. The air grows heavy. Every sound falls silent. For where I descend, the earth bows low, and all that is earthly becomes still. This is the place where logic has no place, where only presence remains. You do not need long prayers, just stand still. You do not need many words, just open your heart. For I do not only wish to speak, I wish to dwell. The fire I am placing upon you is unlike the fire of the world. It does not destroy, it sanctifies. It does not exhaust, it ignites. It burns not from without, but from within, a sacred flame, steady and eternal, unquenchable, even in a storm. When this fire touches you, you will feel both light and weighty light, because old burdens fall away, weighty because my glory rests upon you. This is the heaviness of holiness, the same that made prophets tremble when they drew near. Remember this: no one can carry my fire without first being purified. Fire does not only illuminate, it tests. It reveals what remains hidden, the ambitions unyielded, the motives unrefined. But do not fear. I do not send the flame to hurt you, but to cleanse you. Like gold in the furnace, once you have endured the heat, no impurity will remain, only the reflection of the refiner. And when I see my own image in you, I will know the work is complete. Lift up your head and look, for I am now opening the heavens above you. The light from my throne pours forth radiant yet gentle. I declare, this is my beloved child, the one I have chosen, the one in whom I delight. These words were not only spoken over Jesus at the Jordan River, they are spoken over you now, for you have walked the same path, the path of surrender, of obedience, of love. Know this, my child, when I behold your heart, I smile, not because you are flawless, but because you are faithful. Now the fire begins to descend. It does not fall like thunder, but flows like a steady current enveloping your soul. It touches your mind, dispelling the mist of doubt. It moves across your lips, and every word you speak becomes alive, sharp as a double-edged sword. It courses through your body, filling you with strength, not the strength of the flesh, but of the Spirit. Every cell within you begins to vibrate with the rhythm of heaven. The fire does not rest upon you, it merges with you. From this moment, you and the fire are one. I give you this fire not for display, but for divine purpose. The fire is power, presence, and the seal of your commission. As you walk through the world, the fire will walk with you. Where there is death, it will bring life. Where there is darkness, it will kindle hope. Where there is chaos, it will restore order. It is not you who works, but the fire within you. Remember, you are not the source of light. You are the bearer of it. When this fire burns, you will feel compelled to act according to what I have destined. You will not remain silent before injustice. You will not stand idle while others are oppressed. You will not harden your heart toward pain. The fire will move you not through violence, but through compassion. Not through anger, but through truth. Not through ambition, but through love. When you speak, the fire will blaze through your words. When you touch, it will flow through your hands. When you pray, it will cause movement in the heavenly realms. There will be times when this fire makes you feel alone, for not everyone will understand. Some will feel exposed in your presence because the light in you reveals what they try to hide. Others may envy you, unable to bear the brightness of what I've placed within. But do not grieve. Just as the flame in the burning bush did not fade, though the winds blew, my light in you will not go out. And as I called to Moses from within the flame, so will I call to you. Remove your shoes, for the ground you stand upon is holy. Understand this: when I place fire upon you, I also entrust you with the duty of keeping it. Fire cannot remain without oil. The oil is intimacy, the time you spend with me, the word you meditate, on the gratitude you nurture. If you neglect these, the flame will wane, but if you remain in me, it will burn brighter each day. Like the 5 wise virgins, you must keep your lamp filled, for my fire is not a passing spark, but the flame for your entire journey. I declare, you will be a lamp set upon a hill, not to shine for yourself, but to guide many. Many will come not seeking you, but seeking me through you. You will witness broken hearts healed, the oppressed set free, and cold spirits rekindled. This will not be the result of your effort, but of the fire I have placed upon you. Yet my work does not end when the fire descends, for the fire is not merely to burn, it is to unite. My fire is not an outward blaze, but the very spirit of life meant to permeate your heart, thoughts, and pulse. I do not want you only to carry the fire, I want you to become it. When your heart and my fire are one, you will no longer cry out for me to come, for I will already dwell within you. You will not call for my presence, for I will be ever present. This is the union I ordained from the beginning, when humanity was created in my image, not only to reflect glory, but to bear it. This union is not born in a moment, but through each breath of obedience. Every time you choose forgiveness over resentment, the fire is fed. Every time you choose to listen instead of react, the flame grows stronger. Every time you choose love despite the wound, the fire spreads. For my fire is not fueled by emotion, but by proven love. It finds a home in soft hearts, where pride has fallen, where weakness is no longer hidden, where you whisper, Lord, I cannot, but you can. You will find that prayer is no longer an obligation but a breath. Worship will no longer be a song but a conversation. My presence will no longer visit for moments but dwell continually. And every step you take, every word you speak, every small act you make will carry the fragrance of heaven. When fire and heart are one, you will not need to seek miracles, for you will become a miracle. The fire within you is a discerning fire. It teaches you to distinguish the true from the false, what is of me and what is of darkness. Many speak of me without living in me. Many use my name but do not know me. Yet those who carry the true flame will discern not by intellect, but by the stirring within their spirit. When something not of me draws near, the fire will warn you. Peace will vanish, your heart will feel unrest. When what is of me appears, you will feel stillness, as if my breath has just passed through you. Trust this signal, my child, for it is the voice of the fire within. When the fire and your heart move as one, you will become an instrument of revival. One, I am preparing for this generation. This revival will not begin in great halls, but in small souls who have let the fire burn fully. They will not need titles, only presence. They will not need crowds, only faithfulness. And when I see such hearts, I will join them like embers gathering into a mighty blaze. You are one of those embers, my child. The fire in you will touch the fire in others, and suddenly lands once cold and lifeless will burst into light. The fire also demands honesty. It will not coexist with deceit. It allows no divided heart. If you try to keep the fire while still holding on to what I told you to release, the flame will fade. If you seek to please people more than to please me, the fire will be smothered. But if you choose truth even when it hurts, the fire will grow purer, stronger, deeper. Learn to say no to the things that dim the flame, even if that means standing alone, for solitude in the light is better than crowds in the dark. You ask, Lord, how can I keep the fire burning? When the world is so cold, I say to you, stay near the source. Return to the secret place where there is no one but you and me. Let my word be the oil that feeds the fire. Let gratitude be the wind that helps it spread. Keep it burning through worship, through intercession, through small acts of love each day. Even when you are weary, whisper a word of praise, and I will breathe upon the flame again. Do not fear when the fire seems small, for I never extinguish a smoldering wick. I only ask that you do not let it die. When the fire has consumed your heart, you will begin to feel my heartbeat. You will weep for what I weep over, rejoice in what brings me joy, and ache for what grieves me. Your heart will open to the souls I long to save. You will not be able to walk past hopelessness without stopping. You will see the ones forgotten by the world and hear my whisper, love them for me. Then the fire in you will no longer be only the fire of worship, but the fire of mission. Your tears will become fuel for that fire. Every time you weep in intercession, heaven will collect your tears and pour them out as rain upon others. Every time you endure in silence, I will turn your endurance into a living prophecy. For those who carry true fire always carry wounds. But do not fear, your wounds are not signs of weakness. They are the windows through which my light shines. I am raising a new generation, not those who merely speak of me, but those who live in me. Not those who only pray for revival, but those who are revival. And you are one of them. The fire in you is the seed of what I am about to do upon the earth. It will spread through the words you write, the paths you walk, the prayers you pray. When you stand among my people, you will not need to strive for influence will flow naturally from presence. When you lift your hands, heaven will respond, because you carry my fire. The fire is not meant to burn only within temples, but in the marketplace, in the dust of the streets, among laughter and tears. The fire fears neither dust nor wind nor night. And I say to you, if you keep your heart pure and faithful, the flame will shine not only for your lifetime, but for generations to come. I have come to bring fire on the earth, and how I wish it were already kindled. Luke 1:2-4-9. Now, my child, let this truth be etched upon your heart. The fire is not merely a symbol, it is me within you. When you walk, I walk. When you speak, I declare. When you love, I save. And when you are silent, I still burn. My child, when the fire within you beats in rhythm with my heart, when your breath carries heaven's fragrance, and your words become wind that fans hope, I come to send you out, not as one who seeks, but as one who is sent, as a flame released. For fire has no mission of its own, it simply burns in the direction of the wind that breathes it out. You are that flame, and I am the wind. When I blow, you will blaze. When I rest, you will glow quietly, yet never fade. Wherever you are, you will shine. Even in the thickest darkness, the light will not go out. I do not send you to build an empire, but to awaken a generation. This world is growing cold in spirit, and those I love are losing the sound of heaven's call. They chase knowledge but forget wisdom, chase emotion but lose truth, chase false light and stray from the true. I need those who carry real fire, not to condemn but to illuminate, not to destroy but to awaken. You are one of those flames breathed forth for such a time as this. I do not promise the road will be easy. What fire is sent without meeting contrary winds? You will face resistance, misunderstanding, and even the silence of those you love. But do not let your heart grow cold. When the wind grows stronger, the fire does not die, it rises higher. When darkness thickens, the light does not vanish, it becomes clearer. Let every trial become fuel for your flame. Let every wound become the place where light breaks through, stronger. For even I, when nailed upon the cross, shone brightest in the darkest night. Those who carry fire do not live to be understood. They live to impart what they carry. Your calling is not to make everyone like you, but to make them awake. Some will despise you because the light exposes their shadows. Some will walk away because they cannot bear the truth. But there will also be those who find life through the flame you bear. Fix your eyes on them, they are the reason I send you. Do not count those who leave. Look for the ones who return. I do not require success from you. I require faithfulness. As you go, take nothing of the world's weight. Human wisdom cannot sustain divine fire. You do not need many words, only one word from me. You do not need many plans, only one direction from the Spirit. You do not need titles, only my name. As you walk in such simplicity, heaven will open before you. When you speak in my name, the earth will listen. When you lay your hand upon the weary, the fire will touch them before your words are even spoken. Know this calling is not for the faint of heart, but it is entrusted to the broken. I do not choose warriors who have never fallen. I choose those who have fallen and risen again by grace. I do not give fire to the self-assured, but to those who know they can do nothing without me. Your dependence is the key that keeps the flame alive. When you try to hold the fire by your own strength, it will fade, but when you let me hold it, it will burn forever. And I say to you, my child, you are no longer merely one who has been saved, but a messenger of life. You will go into the darkest places, and there you will see the first sparks of dawn. You will stand among the hopeless and say, you are still loved. You will look into the eyes of souls dying in fear, and through you I will say, live. When you intercede, I will move. When you sing, I will dwell. When you walk, I will make a way. This world is starving for what you carry, though it does not know it. They search through noise, wealth, and fleeting pleasures for what only my fire can give meaning. When they see you, they will sense the difference, not because you speak well, but because you live truthfully. You will be the scripture. They read the song, they hear the prayer written through your life. Do not strive to be perfect. Be authentic, and I will make your honesty a mirror of my glory. My child, there will be times when the fire within you is tested. I will allow the winds to come not to extinguish but to prove. Just as Elijah on Mount Carmel called for fire not merely to consume the sacrifice but to reveal that I am the true God, so will it be with you. When you are rejected, when you stand alone, when the flame in you seems small against a sea of cold hearts, remember, one spark is enough to break the darkness. One believer is enough reason for heaven to move. You are that spark, my child. Never forget it. When you walk among my people, remember this. Do not judge, have compassion. The fire I have given you was never meant to burn people, but to light their path. Use the light you carry to guide the lost, not to destroy them. Let your words be like early rain, strong yet nourishing. Do not argue with darkness, simply shine. When you forgive, you melt the ice in another's heart. When you love, darkness retreats. When you intercede, you bridge heaven and earth. And each time you do, I smile, for that is what my fire was made to do. My beloved, there will be days when you grow weary nights, when the light within you seems dim. But remember this, the fire in you is not merely yours, it is mine. It will not go out, for it carries the breath of eternity. Return to me in stillness, and I will breathe upon the flame again. Lift your eyes and you will see other fires burning souls you have ignited along the way. When you see this, you will understand the mission has already begun to spread. My child, when the fire has been sent forth, when light has touched the barren lands, I begin to bring forth what I intended since the beginning of creation, the restoration of my kingdom. This kingdom is not built with stone or wood, but with souls that have endured the fire, been washed by the water, and are now saturated with my spirit. This is the era of renewal, when the old passes away, and I make all things new. Do you hear it? The footsteps upon dry ground, the sound of water running through the wilderness, the laughter rising among ruins. These are the sounds of life returning. These are the signs that I am at work. When the fire I placed in you touches other souls, many small flames unite, and through them I rebuild the foundation of my kingdom on earth. Not a human empire, but a community of humble hearts, those who love deeply and walk by the Spirit. Hear me, true revival does not begin from thrones, but from knees bent in surrender. It is not announced by the trumpet of men, but by the sighs of souls who long for righteousness. The kingdom I am restoring is unlike any kingdom you have known. It has no borders, no armies, no flags, for it is built upon faith, sustained by love, and governed by grace. I am calling those who were once overlooked, forgotten, or deemed unworthy to become the foundation of what I am building next. Just as I turned the world upside down through 12 ordinary men, I will again use the smallest ones to accomplish the greatest things. For I do not choose the strong to display strength, I choose the weak to reveal my power, and you, my child, are one of them. Look around and see what was once broken is being restored. Relationships once shattered are being mended. Dreams once dead are rising again in my light. Places once desolate are becoming gardens of hope. Everywhere my fire touches, the ground is reborn. And I declare the wilderness will bloom like Lebanon, splendid as Carmel and Sharon. They will see the glory of the Lord, the majesty of our God. Isaiah 3:5-2. This kingdom is not a distant dream, it begins within you. Every time you forgive, a stone is laid. Every time you love, a wall is raised. Every time you obey, a gate of heaven opens. The kingdom is not built in a day, but each small act of faith contributes to the eternal structure. You are not only a citizen of this kingdom, you are a builder of it. This kingdom is not about dominion, but about service. In the world, the great rise above others to be honored. In my kingdom, the great are those who kneel to wash the feet of their brothers. In the world, the strong seize power. In my kingdom, the strong carry burdens. In the world, the wise debate. In my kingdom, the wise pray in silence. This is the difference between human glory and my glory. As the kingdom is rebuilt, the heavens themselves move in unison. I am sending angels across the earth to protect the builders. They will walk beside you unseen but mighty. When you grow weary, they will lift your hands. When you grow afraid, they will surround you. When you grow faint, they will remind you of my word. For this work cannot be completed by human effort. The Holy Spirit is the architect and you are his co-laborer. Some will ask, where is this kingdom? Tell them, the kingdom is not on a map, it is within the heart that obeys. It does not come through political victory or military triumph, but through spiritual transformation. The kingdom comes when one person forgives instead of retaliates, when one person loves though hated, when one gives though lacking, when one stands for truth though outnumbered. Each act brings the kingdom closer. Each moment of obedience reclaims ground for me. My child, I am shaking old foundations. Systems built without justice will fall. Structures founded on falsehood will crumble. But do not fear, the shaking is not to destroy but to rebuild. There will be weeping, but there will also be singing. There will be darkness, but light will rise stronger. When all seems chaotic, it is the sign that the old is giving way to the new. The kingdom I am raising will no longer be divided. There will be no walls of pride, no labels of us and them. There will be one body, one spirit, one hope, one faith, one Father, above all. When love takes the throne, everything else finds its rightful place. When justice stands, peace will follow naturally. When humanity centers itself in me again, every sphere, economy, society, art, science will be sanctified. The kingdom does not erase human creativity, it redeems it. And I give you this prophecy: the time of rebuilding has come. The ancient tree of faith will sprout again. Streams of my spirit will flow through dry lands. Hardened hearts will soften, and the once silent will sing. My kingdom is not a distant future. It is already rising within you and around you, even now. Lift up your head, for the new season has come. You are no longer one who wanders through the wilderness, but one who builds among gardens. You are no longer a weary traveler, but a co-laborer with heaven. Walk in peace, for I am aligning all things for my kingdom, and you, my beloved, are an irreplaceable part of it. My beloved child, I speak to you of a generation now rising, a generation of flame and light. These are not those who speak of me with their lips alone, but souls stripped of the old nature, who have passed through fire, wept through testing, and been reborn by my Spirit. They will not be like those who came before, who heard but did not do, who saw but did not understand. This generation will both hear and move, see and act. They will not merely believe in me with the mind, but live in me with their very being. I call them the keepers of dawn. They do not fear the night, for they know their appearance means morning is near. They do not flee adversity, for they understand that where the battle rages fiercest, there my glory is about to break forth. Within their hearts resounds the cry of Job, I know that my Redeemer lives. They are willing to stand alone if they must, yet they are never truly alone, for heaven stands beside them. This generation does not define itself by titles, but by obedience. They do not seek positions, but presence. They are not hungry for fame, but to be known in heaven. And when they speak, their words do not come from intellect, but from souls touched by my flame. The world will not understand them, but heaven will recognize them. They do not follow trends, for they are the new current my Spirit is releasing upon the earth. My child, I have hidden this generation like treasure in the soil, buried through many seasons, covered by trial, sealed in silence, but now I am bringing them forth. Like seeds in winter, they seem to die alone, yet that death only cracked the shell so life could emerge. They were misunderstood, forgotten, displaced, but only so I could position them for the appointed time. And now is Kairos, the moment I breathe life into those who seemed dry, and they rise as a vast army. This generation will not be confined by the walls of church, nation, or language. They will beat with one rhythm, the rhythm of my love. They will know one another not by labels but by gaze, not by status but by the fire in their eyes. When they meet, their spirits will recognize each other. You too have walked through the fire. And I will bind them together not by structure but by the Spirit. One in the east will intercede, and one in the west will feel it. One will weep in the north, and another in the south will be comforted. For they are no longer scattered individuals, but my living body upon the earth. Do not think this generation is only the young. Age does not define them, spirit does. Some with gray hair will carry hearts fresher than spring. Some youth will hold souls deep as oceans. Some cannot preach, but when they pray, the atmosphere shifts. Some cannot sing, yet their sighs reach the throne. For in this generation I do not seek talent, I seek willingness. They will stand in a chaotic world without being swept away. They will work within it without belonging to it. They will walk among crowds, yet remain pure. They will carry justice into places of corruption, peace into unrest, mercy into hardness. They need no fame to be heard. Their presence is the testimony. When they pass through darkness, will retreat not because they shout, but because they carry my light. I have chosen you to be among them. You will not merely witness them. You will walk with them. I have trained you through solitude, tears, and long nights, so you might become the first spark of awakening. You will stir others to life, not with volume, but with the quiet power of what burns within you. Your gaze, your prayers, your compassion will awaken those still asleep. And you will see a wonder. This generation will worship not only within church walls, but in every sphere of life. Artists will create from the breath of heaven. Entrepreneurs will build businesses with righteousness. Teachers will plant eternal seeds in their students. Leaders will kneel before making decisions. I will tear down the wall between sacred and secular, for in my kingdom every place where I dwell is holy. My child, I declare that this generation will carry the spirit of David and Daniel, tender in heart, unshakable in faith. They will sing in battle and battle through their songs. They will be thrown into lions' dens, yet not fear, for they know I am with them. They will face the Goliaths of this age, arrogant systems, rebellious ideologies, but they will not fight with weapons, only with my word. And one stone of faith will be enough to bring down what stands proud before God. When this generation stands as one, a new sound will rise on the earth, not the noise of war, but the sound of resurrection. It will be the anthem of the redeemed, the song of unity. It will sweep across nations, transcending religion and culture, awakening millions of hearts that slumber. They will sing together, though languages differ, for the Spirit is one. And I, the Lord of all nations, will dwell within their song. I show you what is to come. Children will prophesy, elders will dream dreams, and I will pour out my Spirit on all flesh. Those once bound by addiction will become healers. Those once despised will stand and preach with power. Those once chained by sin will sing songs of freedom. I will do this not to glorify them, but to prove that nothing is impossible for me. Prepare your heart. Do not merely pray to see revival. Be ready to become part of it. Revival will not come through conferences or strategies, but through hearts bowed low. Teach others not only how to pray, but how to abide in prayer. Not only to seek miracles, but to seek the miracle worker himself. When this happens, I will do what has never been seen before. Ancient doors long sealed will swing open, and nations that once rejected my name will bow and confess. Do not fear the smallness of beginnings. A single spark in my hand can set the heavens ablaze. One faithful heart can change a generation. One hidden prayer can shake the kingdoms of darkness. Keep interceding, keep loving, keep believing. For now I am breathing life into dry bones, and as they rise, they will no longer be the wounded. They will be an army of light. Everything has reached its fullness. When the fire has spread and the bearers of light have taken their place, I come to speak of the time of completion. This is no longer the season of preparation, but the harvest of all that was sown in tears and watered by faith. My child, what you have waited for, what heaven has long planned, is unfolding even now. Not in noise, but in sacred silence where I dwell. The sky grows brighter. The cries of sorrow give way to songs of joy. The earth once groaning now breathes new life. Creation and the unseen realm are answering my word in harmony. Heaven and earth are beating in one rhythm, as in the beginning when I declared, "It is very good." Now that goodness is being restored not because humanity is righteous enough, but because my grace is greater still. Not because they deserve to be saved, but because my love never ceases. I am bringing the world into the era of full light, where darkness will find no refuge, where prophecies spoken through tears will bloom into glory, where those who were faithful, though nameless, will hear me call them by name. They will stand before me, and I will say, "Well done, good and faithful servant. Enter into the joy of your Lord." This reward is not for the famous, but for the obedient, not for the swift, but for those who never gave up. In this age I will open the eyes of the blind, not only in body, but in spirit. They will see what prophets longed for, and angels desired to behold heaven and earth united in me. There will no longer be separation between sacred and ordinary. Every task, whether plowing the field, or writing a book, teaching a child, or serving another, will become worship. For when my spirit fills a person completely, everything they do carries the fragrance of heaven. I am bringing my people into the seventh day of grace, where they no longer work to be accepted, but act from the place of acceptance. They will no longer strive to prove faith, for faith itself will become their breath. They will rest in me not in passivity, but in absolute trust, and as they rest I will move for them. My child, this is what generations before you prayed for but never saw. Now it is unfolding, because the time for restoration has come. In this fullness, I will reveal my glory not only through miracles, but through transformed hearts. They will no longer seek signs to believe, for they themselves will be the sign. When they forgive, in a world of resentment, that is a miracle. When they love in an age that has grown cold, that is a miracle. When they live righteously amid corruption, that is a miracle. Each act of light will testify that light is stronger than darkness. Look, my child, the nations will tremble, but my people will stand firm. Economies will falter, but those who trust in me will not lack. The empires of man will crumble, but my kingdom will endure forever. For I have declared once more, I will shake not only the earth, but also the heavens, so that what cannot be shaken may remain. Hebrews 1:2-6:27. You are living in that very time. Do not fear the shaking, for it is the sound of my alignment. When I shake, it is not to destroy, but to refine. When I strip away, it is not to take from you, but to make room for what is new. Know this, my beloved. In this era, every promise will be fulfilled. The words I whispered in solitude, the visions I planted in the night, all will bloom in their appointed season. None of my words will fall to the ground. You thought yourself delayed, but my delay was not denial. It was preparation for glory. When the harvest comes, you will understand why I made you wait. When the grain turns gold, you will see how every tear watered the seed. My beloved, lift your eyes to the horizon. The dawn of my kingdom is breaking forth. The bearers of light are emerging, torches in hand, eyes fixed on heaven, hearts at peace. They will no longer argue over doctrine, nor compete in service, nor measure greatness among themselves. Together they will bow low, and only one name will be exalted, the name of the Lamb. And I, the one who sits upon the throne, will declare, Behold, I am making all things new. When that hour comes, fear will vanish. Death will lose its sting. The things that once made you tremble will turn to dust beneath your feet. Not because you are stronger, but because I have made you one with me. And in that oneness, There will be no distance between heaven and earth, between Creator and creation. You will no longer call me Lord but Father, and I will reply, "My beloved child, you are home." Hear me one last time in this song. Do not fear the darkness, for the light has come. Do not weep for what is gone, for I am making all things new. Do not seek me on far-off mountains, for I am within your heart. Breathe, believe, love, for I am here. You will no longer see yourself as a small soul, but as a spark in the ocean of my glory. You will understand that every step, every prayer, every silent act of surrender has joined the symphony of nations. And I will gather every tear, every longing, every note of worship, and from them I will compose the sound of my kingdom. That is the song that never ends, the melody, sung by angels from the dawn of creation and carried by humanity through all eternity. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty, who was and is to come. Every word I have spoken will stand. Every tear you have shed carries worth. Everything you have lost will be restored in glory. And when that day comes, you will no longer ask, "Why?" for I myself will be the answer. Step into this fullness of time, not with fear, but with joy. For you are no longer one who waits, but one who has been made complete. You are no longer merely a bearer of fire, but one who lives in the light. You are no longer a traveler, but a citizen of an unshakable kingdom. Live as though heaven is within you, for truly heaven is within you. And I, the Lord your faithful God, declare, behold, I am coming soon, and my reward is with me to give to each according to what they have done. Revelation 2:1-2. My child, keep the flame burning, keep the faith steadfast, keep love alive. For when you look up and see the light breaking through the clouds, you will know I am returning. And when I come, you will not tremble, for you have already lived prepared. When your eyes behold me, you will smile, for your soul has known me all along. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. And you, my beloved, are the proof that my love never ends. Thank you for listening to today's message. If it blesses your heart, subscribe and turn on notifications to receive more of God's living word. Let us continue building unwavering faith and walking daily in the boundless love of Christ. Amen.